Minister of External Affairs, Dr. Jai Shankar, paid a landmark visit to Jamaica, marking the first bilateral visitation by an Indian External Affairs Minister. Greeted by Jamaican officials and diplomats, the minister was welcomed with open arms and pleasantries.
It is an honor and a pleasure to specially welcome Your Excellency, the Honorable Dr. Jai Shankar, and his delegation to this historic site, the Indian Arrival Monument in Old Harbour.
The minister's agenda kicked off with a commemoration of the arrival of Indians who moved to Jamaica to work as indentured laborers. This ceremony took place in Old Harbour, St. Catherine, where a plaque was unveiled symbolizing the strong ties between the two nations.
But today is about unveiling the monument that was first unveiled in 1983 and has been redone and has been graced with the presence of Minister Jai Shankar.
We stand today at a place where memory and nationhood meet. Here in 1845, the first ship bearing Indian indentured laborers arrived on Jamaican shores, opening a chapter in our history that would, over time, help to shape the very character of our nation.
This moment carries for me a profound sense of reflection on a personal basis. Indeed, 42 years ago, I was right here, unveiling the first plaque which commemorated the arrival, or as we would say, the advent, or shall I say the first set of tourists from India to Jamaica. And it is appropriate that I should be here at this time for another unveiling, which this time will signal the arrival of the foreign minister, who will go back to ensure that the tourism minister and I will make that second wave of Indian tourists to Jamaica a reality in real terms.
It is a real pleasure to stand here today at this historic site in Old Harbour, a place that carries deep meaning not only for Jamaica, but for the shared history between India and this beautiful island nation. This historic site, the memorial, established in 1983 through the efforts of the Jamaica National Heritage Trust and the Indian community, stands as a solemn reminder of the arrival of the first Indians to Jamaica in 1845. It commemorates innumerable journeys, marking a story defined by resilience, adaptation, and contribution.
The delegation then moved on to their second stop in Kingston at the Sabina Park Cricket Stadium, where another unveiling went underway, signifying the shared love of the sport and resounding partnership. The unveiling of the friendship logo and plaque here at Sabina Park today is a telltale sign of how these two countries have deepened their relationship.
I just want to welcome you all. Prime Minister, I'm very thankful and appreciative that you're here, Leader of the Opposition. I know that my minister would have to be here, but the Minister of Foreign Affairs, thank you for being here also. There's a time when Jamaica's cricket took a slide down, and with it, the park also. The park lost a lot of its sparkle and certainly needed a facelift. And that is where the Indian government came in because we had now transition from Test cricket, which is played in the day, to white ball cricket as an addition, which is usually played in the night. So we wanted lights. And the Indian government at that time came in and donated the lights to us. And so we're very thankful for that. But the generosity did not stop there, because we then lost our scoreboard and was in need of a scoreboard. And again, we approached the Indian government. And as you can see, we're here today to acknowledge the fact that we have had a scoreboard from the Indian government. So we want to thank the Indian government for that also. All right?
This place is special for Jamaica, for West Indies, and for world cricket. And we have been working to ensure that Sabina Park retains its special place in cricket. We have expended significant resources to Sabina Park, fit for modern cricket. And I want to thank the Prime Minister for his leadership in that regard. We installed new lights last year that enabled Sabina Park to, for the first time, host day and night Test and T20 matches. This venue has such a unique and awesome atmosphere in which to enjoy the game, and we have enhanced that even further with the installation of the state-of-the-art scoreboards through the kind support of the government and people of India. So India has been a long-standing development partner. Speaking specifically about cricket, we recall India's kind support in the installation of lights right here in 2014. And we also recall a recent gift of 100 cricket kits that were presented by the government and people of India to assist with our cricket development initiatives at the secondary school level. Dr. Jaishankar, as I welcome you and your delegation to this important and special ground, I wish to express our gratitude. Working with all the stakeholders, we will enable and inspire more great moments right here at Sabina Park. We are committed to the success of our sports development plan, which aims to develop all sports from the grassroots to the high performance level.
Our gathering this afternoon is a most appropriate and important element of what is a historic occasion for Jamaica and India. We are honored to welcome my esteemed colleague, Dr. Jaishankar, on an official visit to Jamaica, the first ever by an External Affairs Minister of India. Excellencies, I bring a slightly different perspective to our discussions today, as we also note that this year marks 181 years since the arrival of Indians in Jamaica and 64 years of diplomatic relations between our countries. This is indeed an enduring relationship with many expressions that are continuing to evolve, much as cricket's formula and formats continue to evolve. From, let us say, the 181-year endurance-based test match that builds respect, trust, and understanding based on our people-to-people platform, and the shorter ODI that tests our nation's ability to deliver on time-bound and strategic outcomes, to the T20 that challenges us to bring to the table the agility for which our nations are, and indeed our sports persons are well known. But throughout any format, throughout any fora, from all perspectives, partnerships have remained key to us both. Indeed, sport, especially cricket, has been one of our most enduring areas of partnership. And the generosity which we celebrate today represents more than a contribution to infrastructure development. Here at Sabina Park, the place where legends are born and records are claimed, they are powerful symbols of an enduring and resilient partnership.
Friends, today we dedicate a state-of-the-art electronic scoreboard, which is a gift from the people of India to the people of Jamaica. One that will enhance the love for the game, the comfort, and the enjoyment with which people would watch it. And this is but one more step of our continued cricket friendship and support, which again we heard has a past which includes cricket kits in 2024 and floodlights a decade earlier. Now, where India and Jamaica are concerned, we may be geographically some distance apart, but I do want to say that in spirit, in our struggle, in our aspirations, we are indeed very close. Both our nations have come out of a shared history. We are proud developing nations today of the global south. We have made a place for ourselves in the international community. And India has stood with Jamaica in times of celebration, in times of sport, as well as in moments of difficulty. When hurricanes struck, when COVID brought the world to its knees, India has been among those who responded quickly with humanitarian relief, with medicines, with vaccines, because at the end of the day, that is what friends are for, regardless of miles between them. As nations cooperate and compete on the global stage, we, India and Jamaica, always will seek out special connections that will define our ties, and cricket is very much one of them. In that world, Jamaica commands enormous respect because it has produced greats like George Headley, Michael Holding, and Courtney Walsh, and of course, which Indian doesn't know Chris Gayle or Andre Russell. In the stadiums of IPL, I want to assure you, Jamaican cricketers are cheered by Indian crowds as if they are our own. The last time India played at Sabina Park was 2017. I hope today's ceremony plants the seeds for the return of Indian cricketers to walk into this ground again and to add new chapters to our cricketing history. Cricket is another way, but a very good way, of expressing our solidarity of shared history, just as are the Commonwealth and the Global South. As we all today gather here to unveil a plaque, let it stand as a testimony that India and Jamaica are not just two countries on a map. We are two nations on the same side of history, on the same side of development, and always on the same side of the global pitch. May this scoreboard count many great innings to come, among them that of India-Jamaica friendship. Jai Hind, one love.
Just behind me in the background, it's the old cricket scoring board that has been here for decades. Thanks to the Indian government, we now have a state-of-the-art, highly recommended cricket scoring board. The Prime Minister spoke highly of the gifts from the Indian government to the Jamaican people.
This scoreboard is not your first such gift. In January 2024, the Indian government donated over 90 cricket kits valued at approximately US $50,000 to the Jamaica Cricket Association. And this was distributed among primary and secondary schools across the island. In 2014, India provided grant assistance of US $2.1 million for the installation of floodlights at this very ground. India has been a consistent and generous partner in building the infrastructure of Jamaican sports, and we are most grateful. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our friendship runs far deeper than cricket. Diplomatic relations between Jamaica and India were established on the 12th of August 1962, mere days after Jamaica gained independence. But the foundation of our bond was laid almost 181 years ago. on the 10th of May, 1845, when the first Indians arrived on our shores. The ties forged between our peoples over these generations in culture, in religion, in language, and in tradition are the bedrock on which everything else rests. In the decades since, our cooperation has grown to span capacity building, education, health, agriculture, security, culture, and sports. Cricket has always been more than a game for two nations. It is a common language, a shared memory, a living inheritance. Today's unveiling honors that inheritance and affirms that the India-Jamaica friendship is built on something real, nearly 2 centuries of human connection, a profound love of the game, and a commitment to each other's development. Welcome to Jamaica once again. I'm confident that my team, under the leadership of Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, has spared no effort in ensuring that your visit will be memorable and successful. Dunyavad.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister, Dr. Holness.
Taking part in this historic event is no other than Sheldon Cottrell, a formidable cricketer. We're going to ask him what he's been up to since these last days. But before that, how was this unveiling feel to you?
It was good, to be honest. Having a scoreboard, a state-of-the-art scoreboard like this here at Sabina Park once again, can only spell good for the cricket. And my under-15 youngsters, they really liked it. I know they're gonna love to see themselves on the big screen one day, but it only spelled good for the cricket.
So you preempted me. I was about to ask you, what have you been up to? Because we haven't seen you on the pitch. We haven't seen you on the pitch in a while now. So you are dealing with the under-15 cricketers.
Yeah. For now, I was involved. I was the manager. But I'm still playing cricket more likely most of the retired league, but I'm still available for selection for all the cricket around the world except for international cricket. I'm still keeping myself fit, still in the gym, still running around, and I still play local cricket for Jamaica Defence Force, so I'm still in the game.
Okay.
This is a very significant milestone, and our discussions tomorrow, bilateral discussions, my expectations are great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
This symbolic occasion only serves to show the strengthening of ties between both countries. Join us for the next stop on this tour. The next stop was in the form of a courtesy call to the Prime Minister, where the signing of several Memorandum of Understanding took place, covering areas of digital transformation, health services, and sports and culture. The final stop was at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, where the minister gave a lecture and had conversations with a diverse group of personnel about shared goals and ideas.
India is actually today a very significant contributor to overall global economic growth. The IMF estimates that in this current year, if you look at total economic growth in the world, India would contribute 17% to that, which would, I think, make us the second biggest contributor. The second, in a world again, and I spelled out some features. One which I did not, but which I believe will be very profoundly impactful, would actually be demography. That demographic changes in the world in the next decade, perhaps even less, are going to have very dramatic consequences, not just on their own societies, but on the global economy as well. So my second point actually relates to the mismatch between supply and demand when it comes to talents and skills. That where there is a demand, the talent and skills do not exist or do not access in adequate numbers. We are living in a world where we can see there are more and more extreme climate events with greater frequency and greater impact. You have all gone through Hurricane Melissa. And the question then arises, when such events happen, who responds and how you respond, how effectively do you respond? And the truth is, we are actually seeing less international cooperation, less collective efforts, even actually as these events intensify and become more serious.
As important as the need for reform is, Minister, as urgent as it is, do you really see the countries of the global north ceding power to countries of the global south? Isn't that why we're still here, why you're still making these calls year after year?
There are two characteristics or two aspects of how the world changes. I think it's important to persevere because change doesn't come easily. Obviously, those who benefit from the status quo want that to continue. Those who would benefit from a change would press for that change. So the first part of it is to persevere, however difficult, whatever the resistance, however time consuming. So it's like running a marathon, it's not a sprint. And the second is to be optimistic, because what the ones who don't want change are, what they want from you is that you give up, that you get exhausted, you say, well, it's not going to happen. And that's, I think, a trap one should avoid. So diplomacy is an optimistic profession. Diplomacy is a very patient profession. And I would say nothing tests patience and optimism more than UN reform. And I can assure you we have both the patience and the perseverance and the optimism to continue on that course.
A conversation with Dr. Jaya Shankar, the Minister of External Affairs of India, has come to an end here at the UWI Mona campus. The diverse audience was captivated by his many words of wisdom, and they will be sure to put some in practice based on his advice. I have been your host, Melvin Pennant, on this another PBCJ's Agenda Jamaica. Thank you for watching.